It does. I think like even like with me doing marketing and just kind of just learning the business side, I think of art as a business. For me, I'm like, hey, if I see something that's trending, I like it, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see how it goes. 'Cause I think at the end of the day, like I am a business. Domonique is a business. As an individual, I'm a business. So yeah, I keep putting myself in a position to where companies want to work with me, and I don't think if I just to one style, I wouldn't have the opportunities I have in front of me. So I'm always trying to learn what's happening, what's new, color trends. I'm always just trying to just stay educated, because if you don't, then you get left behind.
Welcome to Vibin With, the podcast where we learn the artistic journey and musical inspiration behind your favorite puzzle color puzzle. Today, we are vibing with Domonique Brown, the artist behind Old Classic. Domonique is a Los Angeles-based artist that creates portraits that celebrate diversity. Her artwork is rendered in color palettes ranging from minimalist to vibrant, with the purpose of featuring men and women of color in the hopes that others can see representation of their culture and identity and feel empowered.
Domonique, it's great to talk to you again. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us. So how about you tell the audience a little bit about your history? Like, how did you get into art?
I feel like I've always been into art. Like, I feel like one of my first memories was when I was in preschool, and my first drawing that I remember is me drawing this woman. She has like long hair. And I remember my teacher was just like, "Oh my God, this is so cute. I love it." And I think that kind of like sparked me to always kind of just keep doodling, keep sketching in class. I kind of always just did that, like all the way, even through my college years. When I'm taking notes, I always had like a drawing on the side. Or even at work, if I had like a space to where I can draw, I would take that opportunity and just draw somebody. I think even like when I spoke about me being in preschool drawing, I was a younger person. I think I've always just been very inclined to just drawing portraitures. And ever since, I feel like in high school, I ended up getting into a program called Rhyme and Art. And through that opportunity, I was able to go to USC and take art classes. And then through that program, it was like a mentorship that allowed me to learn that there's so many opportunities and basically in the creative industry to be an artist in different ways. Like you can be an art professor, you can go work for Disney and their Imagineer department. So that always kind of like opened like my eyes to like, okay, I could major in art. I could be in art in some kind of way. But when I was in school, my degrees were in AA in graphic design, a bachelor's in communication with a minor in PR, and then last one was my marketing degree, which is a master's. But I'm
very educated.
Yeah. And I have a couple little things too. What I did, like UX, UI design at UCLA. Also, Otis College. I went to school for art as well. But my mindset was that I was gonna go into marketing, which I do already. But I think with the pandemic coming in, it kind of really forced me to really see if there is a space for me as an artist. Because I was working 2 jobs to save from my house, and during 2019, I moved into my house like March 2020. And in April, I was like, I gotta give up this second job. I'm gonna lose this income, but I'm gonna see if I can make it up with being an artist. And with me just posting on Instagram, some artwork through Etsy, even have my own store, it kind of just blew up in a way. Like my artwork kind of went viral in a sense, to where it led to me working with a bunch of different brands, as you see with me with you guys. You know, that was through like an outreach, but you guys, I caught you guys' eye. Something.
Yeah.
Oh, ignore my dogs back here. But yeah, I just I didn't think too much about the artist journey. I thought I was just gonna be selling art prints. Maybe I'll sell some originals in an art gallery. But I didn't think of in the capacity of me working with brands. It's been a wild ride, but it's been fun.
Yeah, we were actually on Roland Martin for Puzzle Color, and we noticed that there's some art on his show that is yours. And I'm like, hey, that's the guy. So it's really cool. On your social media, seeing you how many brands you've worked with, you're definitely like, in it, and it's so interesting because I didn't realize that you had just been doing it more, kind of in this more recent years since 2019. So very cool to hear. Like, how do you make those connections? How did you kind of get into that world?
I think it's really just been just a blessing in a sense. Like, I think it's kind of weird. Like, I think like sometimes I have like this weird, like, I guess I would say, I guess it's imposter syndrome, where I'm like, why is this all happening to me? Like, there's so many artists in the world. Like, there's some artists I look up to and I'm like, oh my God, your work is amazing. But I'm like, how come you're not doing these kind of things and stuff? So I really think it's just really just been coming from me just posting, also just doing just outreach. Just like, if I see somebody I want to work with, I'll just write them. I guess with you guys, I wrote you guys. I was like, do you guys want my artwork? And, I think it really comes from just understanding that if you don't try to put yourself out there, it's always going to be a no. So just throw yourself out there. So I think also I will say maybe my education has helped me too, with me doing marketing just in my job. Well, so it kind of gave me a perspective on how to position myself in regards to talking to brands. So I think I've just been kind of it's a mix of outreach and just social media that's been really helping me a lot. Like in regards to like for Beecher Report, I had drew Martin Luther King and crayon for TikTok, and it went viral. It wasn't like millions, but it was like, I think the highest right now is like 430,000 views. But it caught the attention of Beecher Report, and then for during March Madness, I drew Herbert Davis and crayon for their social media.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we know that was someone going viral on TikTok. We were doing that lately.
Him, because I know he'll send me stuff all the time and be like, do this TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and then it'll be like months later and he's like, really? I'm an older millennial technically, but like, I'm just like, it's I can't get into all the because the millennials go like,
no, I feel the same way. No, it is tough. Like, I feel like when TikTok was coming around, I was like, this is for kids. I'm not gonna be honest and with it. But it's definitely been a big outlet to reach out to, like, for companies to notice you, because I know like there's a higher chance of going viral. You have greater outreach through TikTok instead of Instagram, bad algorithm. But it's tough because, like you said, like, you're older millennial and you're reacting kind of way. Like I'm 28, about to turn 29 in a couple of days, and then it's like this weird thing. Yeah, so there's this weird feeling of like, am I too old to be doing it? But
you know what? I follow a lot of housewives, and these women are like in their 40s and 50s doing TikTok. So I'm like, dang it, if they can do it, I should get my life together.
That's how I look at it. I'm like, there's somebody that's older than me doing people like doing like art, like drawing is like something you did as a kid. So it's like I'm kind of doing like something childlike. So I'm like, hey, I might as well keep going through TikTok.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Brilliant.
And actually, like, so one of the things you said earlier, about you reached out to us, and like when we looked at your website, that was one of the things I noticed about your website is very well like professional looking and very at this part of your marketing and your UX, UI, and all the things you did in college and stuff. So, I mean,
yeah.
How do you feel? Like, I mean, I feel like that played a big part into like how successful you've been. That's in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that has something to do with like just getting?
How do you feel like it
how you feel like
helps you look
right.
I think it helps me a lot because I guess I do have like an idea of like what does good design look like in regards to me like just doing design for other companies. I guess like even collaborations, I was already working. I feel like I always forget the number. I feel like when I was younger, I was a huge job hopper. So I have worked over like different jobs in different industries.
Wow.
I've been in all kind of industries. So I have worked in real estate. I have worked in a car dealership. I was a postal worker. I have been everything. So I think I'll be working with just working in so many different environments. And in a capacity of doing graphic design, I think it kind of does give me some kind of advantage, and especially in regards to my artwork. I think like when I create artwork now, before I was creating artwork for myself, but now since I'm in a commercial state to where I am working for brands and also just selling my artwork through different outlets, my mindset is like, okay, I'm designing for other people. So I'm definitely, a lot of my artwork is so then other people can look at themselves and feel represented.
I love it.
That's awesome. Well, I was going to say, like, I think that sometimes like people who go to like art school, like that's something that people talk about is like they don't teach you they teach you how to do art, like how to, you know, color theory, that kind of stuff. They don't necessarily teach you the business side. So like you having gone to school and like for marketing and graphic design, like you learn the business side, so you kind of can look at it from a different perspective. And even like people who are like, oh, they think of like the being in a gallery is the ultimate. And if that's what you want, then that's great. But you will see the commercial options, you know, like because you have had all that exposure. So I think that's awesome, because like that's something that we, in talking to artists, have like found like there's so many avenues that sometimes, you know, if you're a kid growing up that enjoys art and you think this is just a hobby, how can I make money off of it? But there really are a lot of options, and that program you did in high school probably really helps, you know, really helped to kind of open that up to your mind as well.
Yes, it does. I think like even like with me doing marketing and just kind of just learning the business side, I think of art as a business. I know that I guess if I saw, I do so many different art styles. I'll do a line drawing, I'll draw on paper, I'll do something on my iPad, I'll do it on the computer. I know that I rub shoulders with some artists, because some artists are really built around like have a style, have this one style, this is your look. For me, I'm like, hey, if I see something that's trending, I like it, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see how it goes. Cause I think at the end of the day, like I am a business, Domonique is a business, as an individual, I'm a business. So like, how do I keep putting myself in a position to where companies want to work with me? And I don't think if I just stick to one style, I wouldn't have the opportunities I have in front of me. So I'm always trying to learn what's happening, what's new, color trends. I'm always just trying to just stay educated, because if you don't, then you get left behind.
I'm gonna say, like, well, you mentioned say educated, like wait, what are some like resources that you think that you use to kind of stay in the know?
Oh, I mean, I can look at a lot of times I might go on, let's say one of my favorite websites is like behance.net, Dribble, I'll go, Pinterest is fun as well. Or even just like looking, I'll try to stay in touch with like seeing like what's in art galleries right now. I'll try to see like what is selling. Like if I see a piece that's sold for 30 grand through an art show, I want to figure out why would they want to select that. You know, so I think me trying to build value around my original artwork, I've been just always trying to figure out like how do I put myself in the right position in regards to as a commercial artist, as a fine artist, in any kind of capacity. I'm just always trying to educate myself.
I don't know, but you mentioned like Behance and where that. Yeah, I'm a graphic designer as well, so I definitely use it kind of like, you know, Behance for inspirational stuff. You kind of get ideas. I also like to look at different, like you said, different mediums and different like forms. So like look at, like you said, working at real estate, looking at there's something you see in real estate that might work in another space. You know, kind of getting inspiration from other things outside of like the art world or the design scene. I think that helps a lot to like really keep your mind looking at things differently, and something that you can differentiate yourself when you're doing design or art and things of that nature.
Yeah, no, it's always good. It's always just to know what's happening in the business. I mean, I think of like, you could just look at like just big brands before, like Blockbuster, like they were huge, but they didn't stay on trend. They're gone. So I just try to think of myself as a business. I just think of just everything in a business sense of like, of everything.
Yeah.
Like sorry.
You go ahead.
Oh yeah, I've had people like, I know like some people have been like, oh, your work looks like so-and-so's and stuff. I'm like, that's cool. Same way that if you go into like a Walmart, a lot of stuff in Walmart looks just like Target, but they're both still competitive with each other. So I just really trying to figure out like, how do I stay competitive in a way?
Yeah. So I guess that means like, yeah, like is Domonique with IMK, is that it's like LLC and all that stuff like that? It's all.
Yeah, it is. I got it all set up. I think cause it is a play on my name, obviously. But yeah, I think like in 2020, I just didn't think it was gonna be like Domonique was just a website name. It wasn't really anything to it. It was just like but I think now with me working with brands and stuff, I just been really working on trying to make myself very professional. Like I'm working through the trademark, and I just trying to get really serious about it now.
So do you think that like hinders your art in any way? You trying to be more professional and like make you less creative? Do you feel? What do you feel?
I think in a sense it does. Like I feel like, but but at the same time, I feel like my artwork has gotten better because now I feel like I have something to prove. Like I think before, I was just doodling. I'm like, oh, okay, I want to draw this. I want to draw this picture. I don't think it was much thought behind it. But I think with me having a business and just doing brand collaborations, and I think when I'm doing collaborations and projects, you're forced to research because they'd be like, okay, we want this, so while I'm researching, I'm finding new ideas, which is pushing me to be a better artist in a sense to where my work is sellable and there's value behind it. Before and if you look at my work from 3 years ago, it looks nothing like my work now.
Yeah, I was gonna say like as far as the like commercial, like the fact that you've worked all those different companies was also probably factored into it. Like it helps like you can have a different creative lens because you have worked in something that may be benign to something as postal work versus,
Yeah, and then I think it is helpful because then it forces me to learn new tools. Like I think like even like in a job, like one of my jobs, I never had used Adobe Illustrator, but for the role, they're like, we want you to create avatars of the coworkers. We want to create avatars of people. So do it. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. But where now, like with me using Illustrator at my job, it taught me how to create digital artwork that I sell now. So, and then if I'm just doing projects, I'm just always being forced to be like, all right, I got to learn how to use this tool in order to get my work done faster, hit deadline. So it's actually pretty good in a way. I mean, it does hinder you in a sense because when you are working commercial, you can't make things the way that you want it because you have to meet your brand guidelines. But I do like that it does teach me. It's just more of I like the education.
Oh, well, I was going to ask, look, what is your favorite medium? Like, I know you said, you just mentioned Adobe, like you've mentioned crayon, like what would you say is your favorite?
It definitely is the markers and acrylic paint. I think it's just really fun. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I feel like that is my skill set. I mean, that's where I started, was just drawing on paper. I think like with me, I'm still learning how to be a digital artist. So with me just going to paper and just pick up a marker, it's like very easy, not really much thought. It's just the only thought process, like which color comes next.
So that brings me another question. So with that, on your piece that we selected for the puzzle, is that all digital or is that part digital?
It's all digital.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's all digital. I use Procreate. That was like something I think like when I had that artwork, it was like that was fun too. Like I do like doing digital work on Procreate because it's kind of still like a free flow. Like as it would be using markers and paint, there's a free flow to it. So when I'm on the computer making like something like more flat, it is like just a flat design. It's a little more technical, but when I'm just on the Procreate or on my paper, it's like just free flow.
Oh, so you've actually received the puzzle, and we've actually just redesigned our boxes and like have yeah. So like, so you're this collection is like all these artists are getting the first view of the new box. Like, what do you think? How was it to get your puzzle in the mail?
I absolutely loved it because I mean I didn't have no thought behind it. I was just kind of like, all right, a puzzle's coming. So when I opened it, I love the side of it. Like it's the artwork blown up. I don't know. It just feels very like, I don't know how to say, like usually when you get a puzzle, it's just like one picture. It's just like, this is what's going to be in there. You open the box and then, but it just felt like luxurious. I don't know. It just felt, it was it was like a nice touch to everything.
Well, that's this, graphic design education at play.
I liked it. It made sense. If you're especially if you're selling it in store, like if it's on the side, you still know what it is. It was just, I liked it. It was really good.
Yeah, because that was the thing when we thought about our first box design. It was originally was for us to cut in house because we were going in house. We ordered a lot, so we had to keep the box design. But like with that box, we had to be very generic with it because we wanted to be, the art would be on the front only. But now we're able to like order in bulk and actually order a different design. We decided to go that route and really go into it to make sure every different side has something different, but something like impactful. And so, yeah, I hope that's what it did. And I've seen like in my head, I see things like I want to tweak You know, I'm like work and stuff. But like, I think it's great, and I'm super excited for everyone else to see it and get it in their hands and interact with it. So that's really the best part of it.
Yeah, like I feel like for me, I don't really have time a lot of times, but like it's like me seeing now, I'm like, okay, I feel like building this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Our mom did your puzzle, and she said it wasn't hard. So I think it's a really fun and easy puzzle. Like
an easygoing, like, you know, introductory, maybe if you're not somebody who does puzzles a lot. It's nice. We try to, like, when we select our art, we try to have like a range of like, if you're somebody who doesn't necessarily do puzzles, but you just need something to kind of chill, or if you're somebody who like loves puzzles and wants a challenge, like we like to have a range. So yours is kind of one of those like more beginner or like, you know, like I said, leisurely puzzles to do, and it's really really nice.
So I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna take time, and because that's my goal. I want to like lay it out, get it all done, put the glue on it, and then hang it up. I'm like, I did it.
Yeah.
So awesome. And see it up on the wall, you're gonna love it, you know. And like you said,
it's an accomplishment. Like I have not finished a puzzle probably since grade school. So I'm like, let me take some time out, take everything off the dining table, and let's get some time out.
Well, I will give you a tip because my mom is like, not everybody knows this, but start with the edges. Most people do, but like start with the edges. That's the easiest way. And then, you know, of course, sorting by color. But it's for artists, it's really easy to do. Like we actually have a friend that is a photographer that does a lot of our puzzles just to help us with like, you know, picture with our website photography and stuff like that. And she's like, as an artist, like I know how to see the differences in color. It makes it a lot funner for me. So, you know, I'm sure it'll be super easy. And you're extremely familiar with it because you did it. So
you're right about that tip about starting with the edges. I forgot about that part. So thank you for reminding me.
Oh yeah.
I definitely would have just been like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, definitely. Thank you.
So what would you say? Like, you know, this is a podcast called Vibin With, so it's all about music and what inspires you. So, like, what would you say inspires you? Like, when you're creating, what kind of music do you listen to, or do you listen to music at all?
I do listen to music. I just want to go see Kendrick. I've always been kind of like a good beat kind of a girl. Like I like very upbeat music. I listen to Kendrick. I love J. Cole. I like Beyonce's new album. I like my City Girls. I really like my like female rap music. I just feel like really to like a lot of just very like empowering kind of music, or just something maybe like more fun. Like I love Tyler the Creator, one of my favorite rappers. Just a lot of upbeat music, just something to kind of just keep me just flowing. Because a lot of the time, if I'm not listening to music, then I feel like I slow down.
Yeah, it keeps you upbeat. I've been listening to like a lot of podcasts when I'm working, and I do enjoy listening to podcasts. But like recently, I'm like, I haven't listened to music in a long time, and like when I did, I was like, oh. Like it is a whole different like energy that it brings when you're, you know, to your day to like just like jam out something and, you know, while you're working.
I feel like I've actually like pushed myself away from like TV. I really want to get the podcast. I do, because I know there's a lot of education behind it, but I just like no TV, just music when I'm working. That's my workflow.
Yeah, it can sometimes be distracting. Like depending on what I'm doing, I'm like, no, I gotta pause this, take a break. It's like I'm trying to read or whatever, but depending if I get it like in something that is kind of a little bit more mindless, then it's like I said, the education of it. Like I have a 2-year-old, I don't have time to read as much as I would like. And you know, as the business, it's like we need some motivation sometimes. We need to figure out like listen to a marketing podcast or something like that to kind of help to you know figure out what next steps are.
Retail related ones. I get into retail, so we've got lots of different podcasts on my playlist. But like, yeah, we're watching music. Like you listen to like to Rico Nasty.
I was gonna ask about that.
I like her.
Yeah, like Insecure. Like I love her soundtracks every time there's a new rest in peace, it's not on anymore. But whenever Insecure was on, like she always had really good soundtracks with a lot of great female rappers. So kind of
yeah, I look forward to that when the season drops and the playlist drops.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I haven't seen her. I don't know if the show started yet, but I've got it on my list.
It's on Acme on Max.
Yeah,
it's good. I watched it. I watched the whole thing. It's pretty good.
Oh, you did? Okay.
If you got some songs, it's got some good songs on there too. So we'll probably add those to the playlist as well.
So I know we were saying that Mark, you were a lot of times having to kind of conform to what your client may want. But when you're just creating for yourself, what do you use as inspiration to kind of get you in the mood to create?
I feel like I've been leaning towards a lot of fun photography that I really been I see a photographer I really love recently. Her name is Nadia Lee Cohen, and her photography is so fun. So I really been trying to figure out how to make my artwork have some kind of be fun and also have a story. Before, a lot of my portraitures were just kind of just head and torso, but now I'm trying to lean into more of drawing more of the body, having some kind of story, more than one person in there. I just been trying to lean into more dimensional work.
So what's next for your brand?
What is next? I really want to get back into launching more products. I feel like I just been so on the road doing so many different things with my brands, which is absolute blessing. But I just feel like I haven't been creating no new apparel. I haven't been doing anything in regards to me. So bad for my customers that are probably where is anything? You haven't made nothing, girl. But I just been
there. It's always when's the next production coming? And we talk to artists all year long, and it's but you gotta get so much together to get that out there. So I definitely understand that.
That's probably my next move is just get back into the store. Just try to think of new ways to make the store something. But right now I just kind of just been on my individual brand in a way of just Domonique Brown. How do I present her?
Wow, I love it. That's actually good to do that as well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I know, I in addition to puzzles, I'm in the corporate world, and there's always these classes about make yourself a brand. You need to be a brand. So you really have got it down as far as people know to go to you for XYZ because you have this brand, head mindset. So that's fantastic. I probably need to learn because sometimes I'm just I'm just doing this thing
you guys are in stores. You guys did Roland Martin. I did Roland Martin too, but I feel like when I was on there, it was just more an artist introduction kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you keep just scoring interviews on news outlets everywhere. You guys everywhere. Even my dad was oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to Puzzle with Color, and he was oh, I saw them on Roland Martin. So I was oh, that's a cool. That's all. Yeah.
Well, we try. It's definitely a juggle with all the things going on. Like you said, you'll be so busy with so many other things. It's how do we get back to that other thing? You gotta learn how to balance it all. The emails. I'm oh, I'm gonna do this, and before you know it, it's oh, it's been 2 weeks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, especially my Instagram DMs are a mess. I literally open it up, my anxiety goes up, and I'm I'm so sorry, everybody, but I can't do it today. I'm I'll try again tomorrow.
100%. I say I'll open my emails and I'll be I would rather just delete them all and start from scratch.
I don't know. I ignored a couple emails or just leave it on rest. I'm gonna deal with that in about a day or two.
Yeah,
a day or two.
Yeah. Yeah. Certainly, I need to get through some emails.
Yeah, I'll work on that though.
But yeah. So, I mean, could you tell the audience where can we find you? How do we follow you on the socials, website, Etsy? Give us the information.
Right. Okay. So you can find me on my website, which is domoink.com. I'll spell it out. So it's DOMOINK.com. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Instagram.com/SnoopDoggyDong and on TikTok at Domoink. So same spelling, a Domink.
Awesome. It's so funny because every time we see you like on our news feed, I'm reading it too fast, and I always think of like Snoop Dogg posted a picture that she did, and then I'm like, I'm like, I gotta read this.
And the worst is I get so many mixtape DMs because people think
Really?
That's right.
people give me all their Snoop Dogg stuff, or they give me like, they're like Snoop Dogg fan art or something, or somebody like, yo, look at my new mixtape, and I'm like,
Do you listen to him?
no, I don't have time for this.
Like it's like female rappers in your
You need to respond and be like, yeah, that's fire, man. Keep going.
Right, I shut on, right? I don't want to do people like that.
Yeah, I'll feel you.
Oh gosh, that would be. Oh, thank you so much for taking the time. I know we, had a little bit of an incident getting on, but it's great talking to you, and happy birthday. And I hope you have a great birthday celebration in store.
I know this is my last year until I am 30, so I'm trying to enjoy my little bit of 20s.
Yeah.
I just turned 30 in August, so enjoy. Your knees hurt now. Nothing changes.
That's what they already hurt. I feel like I'm
right. I think about the late 20s is pretty much there. But I just listened to a podcast like yesterday, and the person was like, oh, if I look back at my pictures from when I was in my 20s, like I wish I had appreciated how hot I was. And I'm like, man, that's the truth, because that Facebook memories be like, dang, I can do this.
I look back, I'm like, I saw something that said like, your 30s are just your rich 20s, and I feel like I'm like, yeah, I remember when I was younger, I paid my tuition in cash, so I was hustling and stuff, so I'm like, I really didn't have 20s, so like now I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to my 30s because this is more my relaxation. I work from home,
get some traveling, get some, yeah.
You're ignoring all.
I'm doing better now. I'm like, look at my pictures when I'm 20s. I'm like, I like how my hair was. That was when I had no money. So I'm like,
yeah, man. I love it.
I'm doing better now.
You can also listen to a curated playlist of music to pair with this artist puzzle on Spotify.